Hey friends around the planet, my name's Reagan. Today's December 1st, and on this channel I am documenting the collapse of modern civilization through the means of abrupt and irreversible climate change. And at this point in the video, I'd like to ask you to hit the thumbs up button. It's not hard. Oh my god, wow, you did it. Okay, top of the headlines here from William Shatner makes impassionate climate change plea ahead of COP28 summit. Quote, "We're all gonna die."
When we're all 100% for sure gonna fucking die!
Shatner blamed stupid human beings for threat of extinction. Just the article you wanted to wake up to on a Friday. Star Trek legend The Shat issued a dire warning to King Charles on Wednesday, urging him to use his voice to warn about the consequences. I'll just read what he wrote or said in this interview. He says he's got to say, "We're all going to die." That's what he should open up with, very quickly. "We're all going to die," he told Good Morning Britain. And then he should tell us how to avoid it. Yawn. Also known as the conference is going on right now. Kamala Harris is going, blah, blah. And he also raved about the importance of life, that, quote, human beings are extinguishing it. Quote, again, insects are going extinct. We don't go around saying, "Oh my god, insects are going, who cares?" And we, stupid human beings, don't even know how they existed in the first place. When asked if humans are digging their own graves is a dramatic statement, Shatner replied, "It's not dramatic enough. We're burrowing our own graves." Quote, "I'm so unhappy that you don't understand how imperative this situation is." And then he warned Phillips, "Your children are going to have difficulty living." He continued that we can't escape, and that we can't escape it, we have to fight it. The 92-year-old actor, is the oldest person ever to travel to space and cried there, in which said he's got the wrong idea here in response to the claim. He says, "I would tell the prince, and I hope the prince gets this message. This is a baby step of getting all those polluting industries off the earth. You can build a base 250, 280 miles above earth and send that power down here. Some hopium technology here." He went, other people are saying he went on space in a joyride, etc. And he said it felt like a funeral when he looked back down on Earth with Bezos. Okay, so I think that was noteworthy that we have Star Trek legend flat out saying we're all going to effing die. And King Charles himself saying the world headed for uncharted territory. I promised I wouldn't. Well, actually, I didn't promise anything, that I wouldn't do any COP coverage, and I don't mean to, but again, his opening statements are, at least I got to mention that we're far off track, and we're carrying out a vast, frightening experiment and changing every ecological condition all at once as a pace that far strips nature's ability to cope. In 2050, our grandchildren won't be asking what we said. They will be living in the consequences of what we did or didn't do. Earth does not belong to us, we belong to the earth. Yeah, try 2030, because it's rapid and irreversible. But most COP delegates couldn't even explain what 1.5 is, so let's just run through that for a second, since my audience is extremely well informed. This is just another summary, another chart and graph that we need to see calculated by, the 2023 National Climate Assessment, which I didn't make a video about, but it was all over the headlines. And we can see here clearly that most of the country would, experience possibly many more degrees of warming under 1.5, certainly Alaska. But as this happens, feedback loops start taking off, and then before we know it, we're in a runaway, and we're at 3 degrees, where it's a hellscape, people fleeing all over the country. Nowhere is safe, everywhere is doomed. We'll be at 3C by the late 2030s at this rate. I mean, we're flying. We are taking off right now. Especially as we reduce emissions, aerosols fall from the sky, and we rapidly warm up quicker. Heaviest storms producing more rain at 2C of warming. That's where I plan to move, and it's going to get pretty wet, even wet in North Texas where I'm from. Certainly California. Washington and all of this area, Tennessee, and so on and so forth. Number of days were summer heat and few below freezing. This is another 2-degree warming. Above 95 degrees. Oh, above 95. I mean, the whole southern portion of the country is cooked. You know, I know some of you live in Europe, and it's going to be a hot one. It's going to be a hot one, but it's okay. Bill Gates says his approach is still half full because that hopium is strong. He's up on it, despite, a divorce and his life falling apart. That the globe needs to rely on magic of invention for answers. The era of global boiling is here. He warns that drastic steps are needed to prevent catastrophe. No, Bill Gates, let's keep the sports games going with Taylor Swift concerts and people dying in her concert. While our forever chemicals are getting into ocean ecosystem, PFAS can enter the food chain through marine plants and animals and hurt human health. Just a little side note here, since it's all connected to the problem of overshoot, humans consuming ever more toxic chemicals and polluting the planet. Wash off airport runways and farm fields, end up in streams, discharge into ocean ecosystems where fish. So they studied this from Florida's International Institute, and it can accumulate in marine plants, animals, fish that humans eat. Yep, they're everywhere, all over the planet. And what do we need to do? We need to have action everywhere at once this moment, because it's not 2050, King Charles, it is the next decade or two. I anticipate full-scale chaos in a few years, and yet we insist on making fungi crops that boost crop yields despite not taking into account increased temperatures, which they may not survive. They put it into soil prior to sowing 800 trial plots, 54 maize farms, and enabled up to 40% better yields, which is huge. But soil could be degraded, is moderately or severe damage itself, continue to be degraded, and rise to 90%. So that's been a really quick rapid fire news roundup. I think the notable story here being what Shatner said, which is in contrast to what Gates said. Both boomers and extremely privileged and influential people, despite their own faculties and defects. At this moment, I'd like to just address life, reality, normal stuff. As a person, I wanted to come out and say that if I was so lucky as to be in a devoted relationship with someone, then I would not hesitate to sit them down and tell them the reality of the situation, because that is the loving thing to do. I know some people on this channel refrain from telling their partners, and I think that's an absolutely dead-ass foolish idea and reprehensible. It's like out of fear of being rejected, really, because they need to be aware of what's coming and what's happening around the planet, that we're going to lose everything. This affects all aspects of life, from their children, their families, everything. I don't know. I don't understand that duality, splitting, living double lives. It's a conflict inside your head, which is too unbearable for me to live day to day, carrying that schizophrenic attitude, duality. I don't understand it. They need to be aware that we're going to lose everything. This is the greatest existential crisis we've ever faced. And although there are other four horsemen of the apocalypse, this is one of the largest, threats ever. It is the threat. So what am I saying? I'm saying man up, own your heart, and tell the truth. And ultimately it'll set you off better in the long run. Because this is going to come home to roost, and they're going to be freaking out and coming to you, and you'd rather say, oh yeah, I didn't string you along and say it was going to be all right. I knew, and I told you. So that's how I feel about that. I don't understand it. Be truthful. Don't lie to yourself and others. That's my message for the last month of 2023. And personally, I think I have some conjunctivitis or scratched my eye, so I'm a little irritated. I may not record for a few days. Maybe it's kind of really annoying. I don't know how it happened. Maybe it's allergies. It'll resolve. And I had an interview for a job where I have to register my car yet, which I haven't done. I've been doing everything from my phone, my Airbnb, my living and job is all done contract through my phone, through an app. Such a millennial. But the job interviewer, bald-headed guy, of course, because they rise to positions of power so easily, almost seemingly like it's ridiculous how many people are bald and who are in positions of power, but says, this is the job, you need to run 100 miles per hour. And it's like, hurry up, go to door and ask for modems and people to pay their bills. What if someone pulls a gun on me? Like, things are so crazy now. I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way that this is capitalism. It's like no joy, no pride. Just, this is your, get in, do it, shut up, go fast. This isn't an hourly wage. You work per order. How about we work 10 miles per hour because we have no fucking future? Just the insanity. It's insanity. And I'd have to respond to Jason. Always a Jason and a Travis who are managers. Whatever, you can hear my disgust. And then before that, I tried the delivery package job, and it was $1 per package going from house to house, McMansions in Ohio, up paved driveways. Like, it felt like slave work. And essentially it worked out to like $12 an hour. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm just going to stick for the next few months with delivering tacos and pizzas. Work when I want, no stress, nice restaurants. I get to try awesome food. I know all the, good restaurants in the area. Yeah, it's what I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. I've made over 10,000 deliveries. And there's a video, I wanted to bring this up. There's a video of this girl. Of course it's a woman. Like, don't mess with them. They're just as vicious as us. She's going to make a delivery. And it's like from one of those doorbell cameras. And she just like, because there's so many shit tippers, she just throws the food at them. They open the door and she's just like, fuck you. Take the food. And walks off. I'm sure she got disconnected from her job. But that's how it feels. Like, people are so awful. They tip $2 to drive halfway across the city. You can reject these offers, but they're all the time. Literally, like, I only take 10 or 20% of the offers because the other 40 are like so reprehensibly bad. I almost do want to take it and drive to them and be like, what the fuck is your problem? Who are you? What do you think we are? Slaves? You tip $2 for me to drive 20 miles to you? It's awful. And W-2 is awful, and that's what this job wanted to offer. Like, when you work W-2, you're really only taking home like 80% of your paycheck. So you're working 20% of your time for free for the government who's doing who knows what, paying for, the Pentagon and brass. It's a ripoff. America's a ripoff in every single way. But Bill Gates has glasses half full, things will be okay. So anyways, that's what's up with my life. I'm grateful for you guys. And I think I about covered everything I wanted to this week. I've done 5 world climate updates in a row, which is pretty intense. And I don't know how, might take weekends off. I'm just starting this whole thing. Yeah, this is what I'm doing this year. I know that last year I was pretty loosey, kind of estrogenic. I was using cannabis more and hanging out with my cat. I was pretty wild. I was a wild man. I watch my videos. I have long hair. It was crazy. Anyways, having fun. And I was practicing firearms like every month. And I got a new shotgun coming tomorrow. But okay, too much spoilers. I've said enough. It's December 1st. I appreciate you folks. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.